Thanks for joining us here on the News at 10. I'm Mackenzie Maynard. Doug is off tonight. Long Island's newly redrawn congressional and state Senate maps are being called into question yet again by civil rights advocates who say they take voting power away from communities of color. News 12's Kevin Vesey joins us live in Westbury tonight to explain how opponents are now pushing back. Kevin.
And Mackenzie, these are the maps that had to be redrawn after the previous ones were deemed to be unconstitutional. But on this go around, some advocates say communities like Westbury and neighboring Newcastle are being unfairly affected. That's because these two mostly minority communities would be moved into a mostly white congressional district. And it's being argued that would make votes here less effective.
Changes should never be made without the people's voice.
Dwight Thompson lives in Westbury, a mostly black and Latino community. It's currently part of Congressional District 4, but a newly released draft map would move Westbury and neighboring Newcastle to District 3, separating them from other communities of color like Hempstead, Roosevelt, and Freeport.
It's an egregious thing that they're trying to do. They're pulling the wool over many residents' eyes.
Sheila Wilson-Wells is vice president of the NAACP in Lakeview, a historically black hamlet that could be split into two state Senate districts right along its main thoroughfare. With two different representatives, the community might have trouble securing funds for roads, libraries, and parks.
The two proposed Senate districts that they are placing us in are non-minority communities, which means that our vote will be diluted and our voice will be silenced and suppressed.
The districts were redrawn by a court-appointed independent expert after the previous map was deemed to have been unconstitutionally gerrymandered by Democrats. Civil rights attorney Frederick Brewington sent that person a letter today, asking him to go back to the drawing board.
And by fractionalizing the community, there's a fracture that's going on. When that fracture takes place, it's not actually fair that this community be separated from communities of like and communities that have similar circumstances.
Kevin, certainly frustrating for many. Now, again, this is yet another delay, like you mentioned, in this process. So when can we expect another final decision be made?
Well, Mackenzie, that could happen quickly, actually. It could come as early as Friday. We reached out to that independent expert, meanwhile, for a comment, but so far we have not heard back. Mackenzie?
Okay, Kevin, thanks so much.